Hello! Aaron Crawler here, aka The Film Freak, and I'm coming at you with a brand new movie review. Yesterday I went and saw the Garfield movie, and oh my god, I'm talking about this one now. This is another movie that I liked, but at the same time I didn't. But I really wanted to see it because I've been a huge fan of Garfield since I was a kid. And it's been about 20 years since he was last in theaters, so he was due for a comeback. Now, because it just dropped, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so I'm not discussing anything about the story and plot. As usual, I'm just going to express my overall thoughts about the movie. Alright, well the first thing to talk about is the look of the movie, because that was pretty good. It's CG animated, which is fine because Garfield works in both 2D and 3D, and the animation was created by DNEG. Now DNEG is most known for doing visual effects. Some of their credits as a visual effects company include movies such as Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, Uncharted and Oppenheimer, and TV shows like The Last of Us. DNEG also produces animated movies. I can't tell you what they're like as I've not seen or heard of any of them, but I thought they did a great job with the Garfield movie. Everything looked clean, it was colorful. The animation was a little on the fast side, but overall I was intrigued. I can't say the same for the character designs though. That was kind of a hit and miss. It was like the artists put their own spin on Jim Davis's art style. Garfield and Odie didn't look too bad, but some of the human characters like John for instance, I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. I've seen John Arbuckle as a CG character elsewhere and he looks very much like his 2D counterpart. The movie version of him was much thinner, he had a bit of a longer face, and it just didn't feel much like John to me. Call me nitpicky, but if you're going to redesign an existing character, do it properly. Otherwise, don't do it at all. Now let's talk about the voice acting. Of course, being an animated movie, there has to be an A-list cast behind it. Well, the Garfield movie features the voice talents of Samuel L. Jackson, Hannah Waddingham, Nicholas Hoult, Ving Rhames, Cecily Strong, Bowen Yang, and Snoop Dogg to name a few. I gotta be honest with you, hearing Sam Jackson's voice in a kid's movie always makes me laugh because I'm so used to the guy swearing in his other movies. I expect F-bombs to be dropped at some point. Same with Hannah Waddingham, especially after watching her in Ted Lasso. But as each of their performances were just okay, we have to address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the fat orange cat. Chris Pratt as Garfield. I'm starting to dislike Chris Pratt as a voice actor. I really am, because this is what, his 5th animated feature? He does nothing to change up his voice! When he was Emmett in the Lego movies, that was okay because he was playing an ordinary Lego figure. Therefore, Chris could just go in and be himself. Same when he was Barley in Disney and Pixar's Onward. But then when he was cast as Mario for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, it was like, okay, Mario has an iconic voice. How is Chris going to pull it off flawlessly? He didn't. He tried at times to sound like Mario, but came off more like himself. And with Garfield, it was the same thing. You can hear Chris try to talk like him, but in the end, it was just too much like himself. I don't know what they were thinking settling with Chris Pratt, but to me, that's like if Dwayne Johnson were to take on the voice of Mickey Mouse. You know he's not gonna pull that off, so why even attempt it? At least with Bill Murray's portrayal in the live-action movies, he sounds similar to the late Lorenzo Music, the original voice of Garfield, so casting was a coincidence. I'm pretty sure Bill Murray could have been considered for Garfield again, had he not be such a diva and liked working on that first movie. Or better yet, bring somebody in who can actually voice Garfield, like Frank Welker. If he can come back as the voice of Scooby-Doo for Scoob, why not the Garfield movie? Other than that, there's nothing else to really complain about. The dialogue is what you would expect to hear in Garfield. Some of the jokes in the movie are kinda lame, but there's lots of slapstick humor, so even if the jokes aren't funny, the action is. It has a catchy soundtrack as well as a great score by John Debney. And lastly, because the movie is a fresh take on the franchise, I'm not sure how hardcore fans of Garfield will take it, but kids will definitely enjoy it, especially seeing all those scenes with baby Garfield. Oh my god, that was like cuteness overload. So yeah, if I had to rate this one out of 10, I'd probably have to give it a 7. And that concludes my review. Let me know if you're planning on watching the Garfield movie. It just came out, so you should have lots of time to go and see it. If you already saw it, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe if you're digging my content. Every bit of support helps. Well, thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the movie.